You're watching MMA Oddsbreaker. I'm Frank Trigg. That is Kalib Starnes. Get ready to fight Dave Herman. Coming up on Tiding Fighting Championships. Now, I'm not sure if you've already seen the Dave Herman interview here on MMA Oddsbreaker, but if you have not, you must listen to it. He is a complete effing retard. A complete retard. So he's in Tennessee, and I'm like, he just started training camp like a week ago, is what he's saying. Now, I can't tell if he's a genius or if he's just that dumb. I can't figure it out. So it's like, what have you been doing? You know, cardio has always been a big issue for you. You've lost your last 4 in a row. Like, what do you think you got to do? He's like, I've been running. I didn't do that too much. So I've been, before. So I'm running now. Okay, well, how much are you running? Like 2 miles every day, every other day. Like, what's your trying to interview him is like trying to pull teeth out of a leprechaun. Like, it's just every time you get a hold of them, they disappear on you. It's freaking ridiculous. So he goes, all he's been doing is running. That's all he's been doing. What training partners have you had? I don't have any yet. I don't have any training partners. I've just been running. Okay. So Kalib is planning on punching you in the face and ripping off your limbs and beating you to death with them, and you think running is going to help? So I think now, I think it's a gimmick. Like, I'm in a gag. He's like, no, running gets me in really good shape. I'm like, Jesus, guy, come on. In your opinion, do you think he's actually really training? It's just this big ruse? Or do you think he is really just that stupid?
Honestly, he's a joker. I've seen in his other interviews before. A lot of times he's just playing games. He says he's just on a pizza diet. He's doing this. He's doing that. He's just that kind of guy. I think that's his sense of humor. And I've seen him fight before. No, I'll be honest, Frank. I've seen him fight before in terrible shape, where he just stood there in front of the guy and held his arms out and didn't do anything. And then I saw him fight against Stefan Struve. And he looked really good. I mean, he got dropped and mounted in that fight, but he looked really good up to that point, And so I just getting ready for the best guy that he could be. You know what I mean? I'm just working hard every day. I'm in the gym every morning for an hour and a half doing strength and conditioning. I swim, I lift weights, I shadow box, I do everything I should be doing, and then I spar and do my MMA stuff in the evening. And I've been working real hard the last year and a half, and I'm in great shape.
He's on a 4-fight losing streak. You're on a 5-fight winning streak. Does that make him easier or more desperate than what you've seen in the past?
I try not to think of it like that, right? It's one fight at a time. I'm moving up a weight class and fighting a guy who's going to probably have 30 or 40 pounds on me, and he's 6'5", and he's got about an 80-something inch reach maybe. Yeah. So, I'm taking the fight real serious. I'm not going in there. I got big training partners every day. I got guys 6'4", good boxers, good skilled grapplers I'm training with, good wrestlers, good jiu-jitsu guys. And, I take it real serious,
Well, you've always taken your training serious. Like, to you, this is a real job. It's not a pastime. It's not a hobby. Like, you always have taken it pretty seriously, and it's shown in the last one. Since Peron and Haig, Davidson, Lewis, your last several fights, you've been crushing through fools. And it's been good, especially that last one with Dwayne Lewis, KO by elbow over in World Series of Fighting 7. That was probably one of the best I've seen you compete, and it kind of seemed like everything kind of clicked together. Did something change in the last little bit as far as training goes?
Yeah, a lot of things changed. I went through a divorce. I had a new birth of a new son, and a lot of different things changed in my personal life, and career changed. I was training and teaching guys and working, doing other things on the side while I was fighting Patrick Cote and Joe Dirksen and those guys. And, I was walking into the ring at just around 185 to 190 pounds. I wasn't really in very good shape, to be honest. I was just in the gym all day and taking fights because I like to fight, and occasionally I'll get in the mood to go and have a fight, but I wasn't really full-time. And the last year and a half I've been full-time. And another thing that I focused a lot more on lately is psychological preparation for fights. I spend a lot more time on that than I ever have before. And I'm in a good frame of mind right now when I fight. And from fighting, if you're not in the right frame of mind when you get in there, and it's different from the day-to-day grind in the gym, motivating yourself every day to push through and injuries and have your diet straight and not drinking and so on, doing that kind of stuff. But when you get in, walking out there to get in the ring and the emotions you go through and when you first get in there and all that stuff. And, you know, sometimes things don't go your way right away in a fight, and that can cave you. Sometimes you get too overconfident. And I've just been working a lot more on that than I ever have. And I feel really, really good because of it. It's something that I neglected a lot before, maybe just being too, too macho or too much of an idiot to really take that seriously. And so I've spent a lot more time on it, and it feels really good. I really I recommend it.
So what have you been doing though? You say you've been prepping, but you haven't said exactly. Is it just meditation? Are you doing yoga? Like, what are you doing?
No, I was doing some Bikram yoga, but not for the psychological part of it.
You're there for you're there for all the girls in the hot pants. Is why you were there.
Yeah. No. Well, you know, I go through a basic, like a checklist of everything that I wanted to go through. When I'm in the back room warming up, I'm really focused in on what I need to accomplish when I go out there, and I keep that focus the whole way out. And while I'm standing there in the ring, you know, waiting for the guy to come out, or right when I get in there waiting, you know, for the announcement and everything, I'm focusing, running through my game plan. My daughter's making faces at me over here. Thanks, sweetie.
I can't tell you how many fighters, like, hold on a second. They start laughing. Like, what are you doing? My son's over here. My daughter's over here. Like, my wife's over here making fun of me. Like, it's always this. The family's always behind the camera screwing with you the entire time. Usually, my two young kids are here doing the interviews, and they're doing the exact same thing. They're screwing right off camera, just outside of camera lens range, just messing with me the whole time. Yeah, great. Tell her I said thank you.
All right, Jesus, thank. Yeah, but just going through a mental checklist, going over everything that I need to do, focusing in on the most important things, and I really block out every external distraction over what I'm trying to accomplish, and I have a lot more confidence, a lot more energy, and a lot more focus, I think, because of that. And it's something that I don't just do when I walk out to the ring or think about. Like, I rehearse that. I rehearse the walk out to the ring. I rehearse getting in the ring. I move around. I go through my checklist over and over and over again. I do it every day. It's part of my training just as much as hitting pads or, you know, whatever else I'm doing. It's important.
I've even seen it go one step further as of lately. Guys who are in big fights are coming up the last, 2-3 weeks. They'll actually start having someone come in there and ref. And you'll do the whole walkout for the sparring session, the walkout, do a full warm up, whatever, with everybody. Walk on the back, and okay, now this is like we're walking down the ring, walking down to the ring. Walk in. You actually have a ref that goes in and goes, "Are you ready? Are you ready?" And then boom, let's fight. And then the ref is actually in there, so you've actually taken the rehearsal into practice, where there's actually another step done in that. Do you do stuff like that as well in practice? Where you practice the walk to the ring, you practice getting in, you practice the bouncing in the announcement section and all that, because there is in practice, you walk in and you're like, okay, go. And it's just like you walk in the ring or the cage, they close the door, and you start fighting, and that's it. Well, when you walk in out there, obviously you got some guy announcing your name, he's going to announce the other guy's name. You're waiting. If you're in first, you wait for the other guy to come in. It's like a 10-minute rigmarole of you just stand there waiting for this thing to start.
Yeah, and it is just the Vaseline outside and take your stuff off and all that stuff that takes place. But mostly I just visualize that part of it. I do a lot of visualization, and, I don't have like, who is it, Michael Buffer or whatever on call it, and let's get ready to rumble for me in the gym. So I just go through it in my head, and sometimes I'll get a guy to stand on the other side of the ring with me and kind of just focus and square off and get real serious.
Well, it seems to be working. I mean, it's obvious in your last 4 fights. It's been really good. It's obviously done it very, very well. I think honestly, your toughest fight was Tim Hague back at AFC 19. That was in June of 2013. I went to a decision, unanimous. Mm-hmm. Obviously, I saw it at home. Everybody thought that you won it. There wasn't a question whether you won or not, but that was your toughest one of the last 4. Mm-hmm. Do you think that Dave is going to be tougher than Tim was at the current level? Because things changed since then. You've gotten bigger and jump weight class. Do you think he's going to be just as tough or tougher?
Well, I think Tim's a better boxer and hits harder than he does. And I think the big guy here, Dave Herman, he kicks a bit more. He seems to kick more. And I think he seemed like a naturally gifted defensive wrestler. I've watched him wrestle, and, he just, you know, he seems like one of those big guys that's a good defensive wrestler. He's got a good front headlock. He's got a good sprawl. He has a good whizzer. You know, he uses his hips well. And when I've watched him win most of his fights, he's won them with guys trying to take him down, guys focusing real hard on trying to put him on his back, and he's very hard to put on his back, isn't he? You know, and he's a big lanky guy. I'm sure he's not an easy guy to sweep or even submit from the bottom too, right? I mean, I've worked a lot on that too, a lot of bottom stuff, got big guys laying on top of me. You got to be ready for everything. So a lot of people might think he's just going to come in there and try and stand up and fight me standing up. But I'm almost suspecting that if that doesn't really go his way right away, that he'll try and take me down and lay on top of me in my guard, or, you know, mount me or something like that too. So I've been working a lot on that too, right? So.
All right, Kip. Thanks for spending a couple of minutes with us here on MMA Oddsbreaker. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Good luck against Dave Herman. We'll talk to you soon, bud.
All right. Thanks, Frank. Take care, man.